For most Italians, Monza ranked second only to the Vatican as a centre for religious worship. The faithful flock here to pay their respects to the car, which has become a symbol for all that's attractive about motor racing. But the other entrants for the Italian Grand Prix provide the early spectacle. Stefano Modena started the sideshow when his Brabham exploded dramatically at the entrance to the first chicane. That was also the scene of the most violent mistake of the day, committed by Aguri Suzuki as he started his flying lap. And flying is just how the LaRousse Lamborghini ended up, before touching down lumpily in the gravel. The pit crew were none too impressed. Michele Alboreto asked the next question of the Italian safety facilities as he span his arrows into the dust at the third chicane. Conditions were perfect as the cars lined up before packed grandstands for the start of the race. Senna made the best of his 49th pole position, and Gerhard Berger used his new position as shotgun to steal Prost's second place. But he didn't have to try too hard, the Frenchman making a terrible start in front of his team's home fans.
The rest of the pack followed through smoothly enough, although Emanuele Pirro chose to perform a motor-powered ballet in the Dallara, mercifully without involving anyone else. Prost had been having trouble since the green light with Alesi, and the Tyrrell soon moved into third place at the champion's expense.
Most of the field had completed lap 1 when disaster befell Derek Warwick at the exit of the Parabolica. The Lotus driver lost control of his machine as he tried to re-enter the pit straight. Instead, he careered into the Armco and ended up back on the track upside down. The accident looked horrific, and for some of the older fans watching, it seemed a terrifying reminder of the crash which claimed Jochen Rindt's life at the same circuit 20 years earlier. The red flags were a formality, the crowd happy to see Prost get a second chance. Warwick, meanwhile, had had a miraculous escape. He crawled out of the car to start his run back to the pits and the T-car. But what had been going through his mind when the accident happened?
Oh, many things, really. Oh, shit, things like that, really. As soon as the thing escaped me, it was obviously going to be an accident, and I knew it was going to be a big accident, so you really just braced yourself ready for the impact. The first impact, I remember seeing the front left wheel going over my helmet, and then the car went on its side and was going along the barrier, and then coming out onto the race circuit. And although it only took maybe 4 or 5 seconds, it actually seemed to take 4 or 5 minutes because I just kept on going and going. I got out of the car, I looked straight over to make sure there was nothing else coming to hit me so I could get out of the way. I then walked to the grass, and during that walk I'd sussed out that the car was obviously finished. It was in the middle of the track, so therefore they had to stop the race. The red flag still wasn't up at this stage. And to get to the spare car, because I didn't want to start from the pit lane. I'd rather start from my grid position, and I thought if I got there quick enough, I'd get into the car and out and onto the grid before the pit exit closed.
Start number 2 bore a marked similarity to the first version, with Senna rocketing into the distance, bridesmaid Berger happy to follow in his wake. But again, Alain Prost had been reduced to third place, and again Jean Alesi was harrying the older Frenchman all the way as the field filed through the first chicane in relative peace and order, just a bit of smoke on the inside, and Senna was away into the lead. Prost saw his fears over Alesi confirmed as the younger Frenchman claimed that third position for the second time in a row. So the first lap saw Senna leading from teammate Berger, with Alesi defying the odds in third position.
But the young Frenchman's eagerness was to get the better of him. He lost the back end of the Tyrrell at the first chicane on the 5th lap and slammed out of the race. Once again, inexperience had put paid to Alesi's chances. Now the race order had a more familiar look about it, with the 2 McLarens heading off the challenge of Prost's Ferrari. But Berger was having no luck with his car. Persistent brake problems slowed him down and gave Prost an easy chance to take second place, much to the delight of the Tifosi. Meanwhile, chaos in the Benetton pits as Piquet arrived to find teammate Nannini already in the service bay. He decided to wait it out rather than go round again.
It had been a comfortable race for Senna despite the inconvenience of starting twice. He delivered a slap in the face to Ferrari fans at the race where it hurt most. Another 9 points then for Senna, Prost making do with 6 points for second place, Berger third, Mansell fourth, Patrese took 2 points for Williams, and a great result for Nakajima, who took 6th place for Tyrrell. Prost was in conciliatory mood after the podium celebrations, actually shaking hands with his bitter rival, making it up, albeit temporarily. And although Senna had pulled clear a little bit in the points, mathematically the Ferrari driver was definitely in touch, as the results showed. Senna and Prost just 16 points between them and well clear of the third place battle. And at three-quarter distance in the season, a different story in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren 37 points clear, continuing their dominance of the team race for points.